Come out to the bar.
All the players came from far away. Hello, YouTube. Cheers and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
And The Basement is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family. In ATL, we need your input on this one.
Talking about the A-Town.
Oh, man. Listen, Jermaine Dupri came out his mouth and said the other day that he believes he's had more influence in Atlanta than Outkast.
Whoa. Negative.
He has a point though. Let's talk about it. Is he right? Is he wrong? And with that being said, let go. I know it hurts to say Outkast, my favorite group, Andre, one of my favorite rappers. When we talk about influence, he has a point. Let me hear what you got to say.
If you smoke a dime.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Then I'll smoke a dime.
Here we go.
Let me tell y'all something, man.
Uh-huh.
You want to talk about influence and whom was more influential than whom? Outkast should not only be credited for being one of, or if not, probably the most influential group out of Atlanta, but out of the South, period. And that's just a known fact. Now, as it pertains to Jermaine Dupri in the town of Atlanta, I really don't even see this as being close. If Bruce could somehow explain to y'all and to me how that's even a close race, then that would be an amazing feat today. Let's start at the beginning. 94, LaFace Records. Before then, you may have had Kilo, Raheem the Dream. These were household names in the city of Atlanta at around that time. As you look at the landscape of hip hop today, it's primarily dominated by Atlanta. Reason being, it's not considered a bubblegum town or a town that doesn't know much about hip hop and its roots, traditionally, conventionally, and carved and created their own sound and lane. The bulk of that credit goes to the influence of Outkast. You go from Southern Playalistic, by the way, which is a classic album in hip hop.
True.
That also went platinum with such hits as,
oh boy,
like I said, if you smoke a dime. It was a line in there, I believe Andre said, you talk bad about the South and I'll punch you in your fucking mouth. Straight like that. And
okay.
I say all that to say the MCs or the class of MCs that came after Outkast, there was a standard set by Outkast. There was substance, there was street influence, wordplay, there was up-tempo sound and flow that had to be met and matched when Outkast did it. And not that everybody behind Outkast had to rap as good as Outkast, but you had to have something to say, and you had to say it with flavor and style, as the A-Town has set the trend for even currently now. And so, question being, who had a more of an influence on the town of Atlanta? Like I said, that was just the Southern Playalistic, where you had Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music. But I didn't even get. I'm not even gonna go into AT Aliens and the content that was on stuff like Aquemini yet. I won't even get into that yet. I'll let Bruce tell you somehow how So Def and Crisscross can match up to that. But
and that's the exact problem is you didn't listen to what exactly he said. You took 5 minutes off of the time. What he said was he's influenced Atlanta more than Outkast. He didn't say Outkast wasn't the most influential group or this and that. There's more.
Explain to me how he influenced.
Because I'm about to tell you. Just let me speak. Now, first of all, being a radio DJ, you didn't know that? I know you didn't know that. If you was in Atlanta for the years and years that they let him do his own thing at the, 107.9. He used to come on at midnight. He used to come on a little earlier, like 11 after that. Years. He was putting out the newest mixtapes. He was putting out the newest artists, underground artists. Some of them you'll never hear again, and you only heard once on his station. He was sponsoring the newest artist shows and the newest artist showcases. So when he says influence in Atlanta, he didn't say he had the best music in Atlanta, but I'm also going to get to that. Now, Outkast is the best hip hop group of all time. So that's why when you could do that comparison, it's a ear turner and an eyebrow raiser. But the truth is, actual influence in Atlanta was that radio show. The reason why I know this, because at that time I was also trying to get on, and we invited him to our show because he had an open book policy where young artists that were doing something could be sponsored by him if they were good enough. Influence in Atlanta? Listen, you might think that just because he's not Outkast, and Outkast was the first to go on national TV and talk to the rest of the world and tell them that the South has something to say. I hear you.
Thanks for pointing that out for me.
Yeah, but what I'm also going to say is, my way, she likes it my way. Usher, it's not just rap that we're talking about, the influence in Atlanta. Influence in Atlanta means Usher's greatest songs, You Got It Bad, he wrote and produced. Nice and Slow, you remember that? Written and produced. You make me wanna see the one you with, start a new relationship. That's Jermaine Dupri, written and produced by Jermaine Dupri. Wait a minute, The Brat, Funkdafied, Tonight by Escape. You remember that? I'll tell you what you don't remember. I'll tell you what you don't remember is Just Kicking It by Escape. So this is why, okay, fine, Outkast is the best. I can only say it 20 times. I can't say it anymore. Yeah, they're the best hip hop group. His statement was his influence in Atlanta from bringing out the young kids and the new talent that nobody was putting on the radio. He did it on his little radio hour, little 2-hour radio show. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I remember listening to it every night. He put that out. Secondly, he was a DJ before that, like music DJ, like playing beats at clubs. He was been in the Atlanta scene. That's how we started to get artists. Number 3, you forgot about Usher, who sold millions and millions of albums and singles that he wrote and produced. You forgot about Escape, who sold millions and millions of albums and singles that he wrote and produced. You forgot about The Brat, who sold a bit. I ain't gonna go too hard on that. Crisscross, who did sell millions and platinum, but that's not even the point. Monica, Usher, he's written and produced for and with Alicia Keys. Now, I wasn't gonna talk about just the music. I was gonna talk about other influence, which is the radio show, which is the stuff that he put on, but also Last thing, because I don't want to go too long. I've already proven it. There's more than just being a good hip hop group that makes you influential to a city. His hands are in everything. His hands are in everything, from hip hop to hanging with the mayor. You see the guy at every single level, opening clubs, starting labels. Come on, man. Come on.
You need to get out and get something.
That's all I'm saying. It's a great group.
Don't let the days of your life pass by. Listen.
Nobody put out more young artists out of Atlanta than Jermaine Dupri. How about that?
That's a lie.
Nobody put out, on his radio show, nobody played you more unknown young artists out of Atlanta than Jermaine Dupri.
There's a
period.
lie.
Tell me who else.
I don't know Bruce for telling lies.
Tell me who else.
There's a lie.
Tell me who else.
Right there.
Who else?
Drama, Cannon, Easy. Listen, man.
He played them. Drama, that's exactly my point. DJ Drama, when he was first starting his mixtapes, the first time he got played on the radio for his mixtapes was that show that Jermaine Dupri played.
Greg Street. I don't know somebody that played more young artists than Greg Street. That busts more.
He's not an artist. He's not also a producer.
That breaks more local artists than Greg Street. You said radio. We talking about radio or your production? Make up your mind.
That's my point. Is he does all of that. That's why he's the most influential.
He was never had the best radio show. So that You just said Outkast was the best radio group. So
Outkast is the best group,
right?
Hip hop group.
Jermaine Dupri never had the best radio show in Atlanta. That's number one. Second of all, when you talk about Usher and all these other R&B groups, fine. You say R&B had some type of influence on the town, fine. I can accept that. The fact of the matter is, the content also matters. The content of Outkast was doing what? Representation of Atlanta. See, You Got It Bad was no representation of Atlanta. So the influence of I Got It Bad on the city of Atlanta, it's null and void. It had nothing to do with Atlanta. It had something to do with your boy having You Got It Bad for your girlfriend.
Influence.
That's no influence on Atlanta.
It is influence.
Specific influence on Atlanta is when you say I ride that 86 bus through Decatur trying to find our spot off in that light off in that spot, knowing that we could rock. When you're talking about specifics, representation of Atlanta, the influence is immeasurable with that. Not I got it bad for a girl.
No,
that influence is different.
That's where you're wrong.
Not where
that's where you're wrong.
You tell me how that's wrong.
I will tell you right now.
Where's the influence in Atlanta?
The mere fact of when you live in a certain place and what comes out of that place is considered attractive.
Nobody knows he was from Atlanta.
Yes, everybody thinks
matter of fact,
from
he's
Atlanta.
From Tennessee, as a matter of fact.
He was put on in Atlanta. That's all that mattered, because the influence the money that brought, the shows that brought, influence. The capital
because that's not what they were promoting. They were promoting Atlanta.
The capital that brings to Atlanta is influence that's also immeasurable.
When you see
the shows that
the Atlanta Braves jersey in the videos, who was doing that first? That's influence on a town. You never seen Usher represent Atlanta.
Yeah, so the problem is, what I'm telling you is, the other immeasurable part of that, you and your Atlanta.
There was no Google back then.
Let me finish. The Atlanta Braves jersey that you have on, you wouldn't have the stadium filled if it wasn't for the fact that people like Usher, people like Aaliyah came down here because of people like Jermaine Dupri, because of all of the pop stars and all of the light that he brought to have people in that city.
Outkast was on LaFace Records. That's Babyface.
That's what's up.
Right, which was already a household name in Atlanta.
So now you're telling me that now you understand.
Had nothing to do with Jermaine Dupri.
So now you understand the importance.
I'm telling you the importance of Outkast.
Even though if they didn't say Atlanta, LaFace Records itself, Babyface never said Atlanta, but it was important and the
biggest selling group on that label was Outkast, and that's why I'm saying they had the biggest influence over Atlanta.
than Babyface, who never said Atlanta. So Babyface's
was the labels pushing Outkast
influence on Atlanta. Babyface may have had just as much influence as Outkast.
You're not making
what
any
I'm saying
sense.
is Jermaine Dupri.
You're talking about the label behind the influence. The influence was Outkast.
There's no Outkast
because they were
label.
the ones representing Atlanta. Like I'm saying, they were the ones representing and promoting Atlanta.
All right, listen, man.
LaFace promoted Outkast.
Okay, wrap up.
Which is what a label does.
Okay, wrap up.
Not Atlanta. The influence on Atlanta was Outkast.
Wrap up. The influence of a person's life work or what they do to a city is not just because they have a song about that city. That's my wrap up. The influence that LaFace had was putting out Outkast.
Facts.
That's his influence on Atlanta. On Jermaine Dupri, his influence, besides how many young people he put out and got out there, besides the fact that DJ Drama himself had his first record played on radio by Jermaine Dupri, look it up. Besides the fact that he also had brought notoriety to Atlanta by the facts, which brings influence.
Like Andre did in the acting world. Like they did when they came out with Outkast clothing. Like they did when they came out with such as Goody Mob. And you would have never heard of the Goody Mobs and things of that nature. The Dungeon Family, had it not been for Outkast. You tell me who was the bigger influence.
Well after Jermaine
Stop
Dupri.
playing. Stop playing. The Goody Mobs, that's Outkast. The Outkast clothing. Jermaine Dupri never came out with clothing. That represented the city. That's influence.
He came out with Ushers.
Outkast.
He came out with the best pop.
Don't tell me about an R&B artist
known for the past 20 years.
That's no influence
that brought them to
Atlanta.
He came out with studios.
That's influence on the R&B
that
charts.
Brought people to Atlanta.
It's a difference.
Listen, what do y'all think, man?
Y'all give us feedback.
Give us the feedback.
Who had the bigger influence on the city of Atlanta? Outkast or Jermaine Dupri?
Okay, so while y'all mull that over and chew on that, what we're gonna do, I got so many shout outs. I'm not gonna say read everything that you did, but especially new subscribers. I got one right here for you. Curtis Flowers, thank you so much for being a new subscriber. We appreciate it. Rich Rios, man, I love what you said on our show about Chicago and the OGs. I appreciate that. Rich Rios, thank you. I hope you subscribed as well. Marquise Smith, thank you for your comment. Y'all check that out. He commented on one of the Dolph joints. Barry Kershaw, thank you. Thank you for your comment on the Chicago joint. Alton Howard, thank you for your comment. You commented on the Tupac versus, what's his name? Fake Boy. and we thank you for that. Flex, yeah. Tupac versus Funk Flex. Thank you, Alton Smith. Who else? All of y'all. Thank everybody, man. The bottom line, thank you for your comment on the Chicago joint, the OGs. Kevin Gates. I don't think that's the real Kevin Gates. Either way, thank you for your comment. I think that's all. Oh, Bloods, Crips, and Essays, as usual. You already know, Mr. Fleetwood, Cleopatra H. Thank all of you for your comments, man. New and old. Keep checking us out. Next week, we're back in full effect. You already know this. Turn your phone off, man. Peace out, people.
We off.
That's that Outkast.